YouTubers, Fortune Cookie 45 LC coming to you from the hot lead zone. And this afternoon we're going to do a backyard review on two popular air pistols. One is the Crosman model 1300 22 caliber pneumatic. You pump it up and shoots 22 caliber pellets. The other gun is the equally popular Crosman model 2240 CO2 single shot 22 caliber pistol. Now there have been many reviews done on these two pistols using scientific instrumentation and all this kind of thing. So this review is going to look at just the usability, shootability for your average backyard shooter. We have these nice plinking targets made out of steel. They are silhouette targets, like the IMSA silhouettes. Going to be shooting them at backyard ranges though. But first, let's shoot a paper target right out there at 30 feet. It's about 10 yards away. Now for this comparison, we're going to use these RWS hobby pellets, which are actually very nice pellets. Shoot pretty good groups from indoor ranges around 20 feet. Both guns work about the same. You open the breech. With the 1300 you pump it 5 times. With the 2240 all you've got to do is load it and the CO2 takes over from there. You can see we're taking a 1300 and we're placing a pellet on the breech, closing it in, safety's on, pump it 5 times. This isn't hard to do. And then we have our elbows on our knees and we're shooting like so. So we'll shoot 5 shots. Breech is open, put the gun down. Let's have a look and see how that looks. Walk over there and show you, but you can see that's about a 1-inch group. Not more than 1 inch. 5 shots in the 1 inch at 30 feet. So now let's use the Crosman 2240 CO2 single shot pellet pistol. So safety on. Open breech, cock the pistol, place a pellet on the breech, closed action, safety off, and shoot. Repeat that 4 more times. Well, let's go check that out. So you see the pneumatic pump 1300 on the left shot a little bigger group, about not quite twice the size. I'd say maybe 1.5 times the size group as the model 2240. So with the hobby pellets, the 2240 CO2 outshoots the Crosman model 1300 22 caliber. But for backyard shooting, both guns are just fine. And I'm sure with other pellets, you're going to find differences in the accuracy. The Crosman 1300 might like another kind of pellet better. So now let's go ahead and shoot the silhouettes. We'll start with the 1300 first, see how many shots it takes to take down the 4 targets. Okay, that took 6 shots, but it really took 5 because the first shot I didn't know how much to hold under. So really 5. Now the 2240 CO2 pistol in 22 caliber. Well, that was 5 shots also, so it's a tie. Both guns are good, but here are some things that might be important, and that is the CO2 model 2240 has a little bit of a crack to it, and neighbors all the way down there can hear that going on. Well, turns out that even kids in that school, see that big vacant lot there in the middle of the screen? When kids are playing in that playground, we can actually hear them from up here. So the sound travels pretty far around here, and so that crack can be heard down there. I know it can be. Whereas the Pump 1300 doesn't make that kind of a crack. That crack is almost like a supersonic crack. Now that may not be important, but that's something I noticed. Also, when you have a CO2 cylinder, the problem is you may not want to shoot that many shots. And so, personally, I don't like to leave CO2 pistols and rifles pressurized. I like to shoot the cylinder out. Well, suppose I only wanted to shoot a certain number of shots and there's more CO2 left, I'd have to more or less just shoot those off. Whereas with the 1300 pump, you just shoot the number of shots you want, much more convenient. So if I were only to shoot a few shots, I'd grab the 1300 for sure. But if I were going to have some, perhaps my grandson's shooting, then I'd use the 2240 because it's more fun for them to be able to shoot without having to wait for me to pump it up. Here's some offhand shooting with the 1300. So just as I thought, the 1300 performs just fine. Now, that was shooting with arms unsupported, sitting on the stairs over there. No elbows on these, just arms out unsupported. Now the Crosman model 2240 CO2. couldn't seem to hit that little one, the chicken. I think because the gun's shooting a little bit to the right and I kept holding dead center. So to give the 2240 a chance at redemption, I aimed at the center of that yellow circle that's in the center of the screen, and the first shot hit way right and high, but that's because I didn't work the trigger very well. So then the next 12 shots went into that group that's at 1 o'clock just outside the yellow circle. There you go, YouTubers, one-shot chicken with a 2240, 22 caliber offhand. So they're both good guns. I have to adjust the sights on that 2240. There's enough room to do that. YouTubers out there, for all intents and purposes, the Crosman 1300 and the Crosman 2240, both 22 caliber, are both fine backyard pistols.